In 2003, the doctor told me 6 hours of surgery and never knit again. I knit 8 to 15 hours a day, 12 years later, pain-free. When we knit, we crimp down our hands and we articulate in. If you crochet, it's even more animated, but it's only one hand. Crocheters get a lot of nerve pain right here. It's called the PISI bone. I call it pissy bone because if it hurts, you're pissy, okay? So that's the over-articulation factor. Knitters fall into two categories. There's the T-Rex knitter, they hold their shoulders like this, and there's the floppy knitter, and they get back pain. So the height of your chair is really important, and that's covered in the handbook. Now, in terms of the hands themselves, the hand balls are fabulous. They're the bouncy ball, they're the super ball. You're gonna put it in your hand, and you're gonna use just the weight of your hand on the table. I don't want you pushing on the ball. And we're gonna do two motions. The first one is using small circular rotations from the center of the hand out to the wrist bones. And you're gonna do it like this. Super easy, okay? And you can feel it, go slow, it gets into the joints. The second thing you're gonna do is go from the wrist up into the mesh of the hand. So you're gonna go here, back and forth and back and forth. Again, not pushing, just rocking to allow that natural form to come back into shape. So what we're doing is opening the palm, okay? One is a strategy that's used by belly dancers. Belly dancers have to use all of their muscles. In most strategies for hand support, you don't get any stretch between the fingers or at the wrist. The belly dancer move is this. Fan the fingers all the way out and all the way in. Okay, so the thumb is going in only on this motion. The thumb is coming all the way out on that motion. It takes a while to coordinate this. You kind of feel like a seal out of water when you do it. But it's an absolutely fabulous stretch for knitters and crocheters. So those are the two movements with the hand. Again, you can use it here. The larger balls can go over your feet at night. If you're doing a T-Rex knitter and you're pulling your shoulders up, you're probably also over-articulating your feet. And so a tennis ball or this larger size ball that has a hard core and that prickly surface allows your feet to relax too. One of the things we notice with most knitters is that when they go to bed at night, they curl up into a ball. And that's because they've got too much stress across their shoulders, and it causes actually a lot of nerve pain in the neck and face. And so there's a couple strategies for that. The first thing is at night I want you to stretch really well before you go to bed. You do not want to be curled in a ball. You want to be open and airy at night so that you can spend all day doing this. So open and airy. A couple things you can do is stand in a doorway. You want the door frame right up against your spine. Your feet are 6 to 8 inches out from the wall, and then lean into it and just stretch your head on one side and then the other of the frame. So you're actually bringing your head back a little bit. You can also open your arms just like angel wings out into the doorways. There are elbow rotations or elbow rolls. Put your hands on your shoulders. You want this to be a straight line across your shoulders. 5 forward and 5 back. The first time you'll do that, you'll probably crack like just you're crumbling crackers because you're opening up a lot of stuff that's been tight for a long time. When you go to bed at night, make sure your chin's back, make sure your shoulders are back. Well, if we naturally do this at night, how do we do that? And what I found is the secret to that is making sure that your hand is along your hip. Now, at first that feels really funny, but if your hand's along your hip, your head has to go back. Okay, it's part of that just general movement thing. So, if you knit for an hour, I want you 30 seconds on each hand. So it's really fast and easy. If you don't have a table, you can do it in your hand. But the one caution about doing this is over-articulating the fingers. A lot of knitters, when they talk about things you can do, refer to this stretch or pulling your fingers out like this. You can really hurt that joint. You need that joint to knit, okay? So if you're gonna do this, use a lot of caution. You do not want to over-articulate any of those finger pads. Same with your thumb. Of all the fingers, what's the most important thing on your hand? Your thumb. Yeah. So I want you to be really careful with that in terms of knitting. And that's why I'm talking about these different types of gloves. The other thing is that one place for the ball right in there does you the most good. You know, these here. Now, trigger finger, have you ever seen that where people who do this a lot get their fingers stuck? It looks like it's in here, and if it's a really serious case of that, it actually is in there. But for a lot of us, where we're catching is actually down in here. If you push in the hand, you see how it pulls your fingers down? So if you've got mild, it feels like it's kind of sticky or crunchy in there, you can just push in here with those little balls. And you see how your fingers, you can't help it, your fingers naturally pull in. Okay, so try that. Again, if you have any questions, see a doctor, because I'm not one.